Welcome to the Impact Business Show. I'm your host, Annalise Warren, a marketing agency CEO, business strategist, digital marketing mentor, wife, and mama of 4 little ones. Stay tuned for conversations with successful, purpose-driven business leaders, as well as practical marketing strategies that you can action right away. We are here to help you master your marketing, build your business, and change the world. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Now, today I wanted to talk about the buyer journey. And for those of you who've been around for a little while, you will probably have heard of the buyer journey. And for those of you who haven't, this is the core piece of your business. This dictates every single thing, or it should dictate every single thing that you do in your business and every single decision that you make. So the buyer journey is just the cycle that people go through when they do business with you. It is how they become aware of you, how they fall in love with you, your brand, your product, your service, how they purchase, how they are delighted, and how they become referrals and come back to the start of this circle that should be the perfect buyer journey. Now, it confuses a lot of people because it gets a little, you have to be strategic every step of the way. And I think what happens for a lot of us when we start our businesses and we don't base it on this framework, we just start thinking about, this is my service and I'm going to do social media, I'm going to have a website, and people are going to come flocking. And it doesn't happen like that. We really do need to be strategic every step of the way. And then this is what good marketing agencies do, is they then look at the data and then they refine every step along the way, knowing what the general benchmarks are for every step along the way. So let's dive into what it actually is and how you can set this up for yourself. So again, I've spoken about this quite a few times, but the other thing that happens when we do business is that we get really swept up with the day-to-day and we get unfocused about these core foundations that should be in our business. And we also get distracted with shiny objects. We get comparisonitis. We look at what other people are doing and think maybe we should be doing that. Maybe, oh, they've got a Facebook group. Maybe we should have a Facebook group. Oh, they've got a video, series lead magnet. We need to have one of those. And we should just get really strategic, really focused on what it is that we want and what is best for our business. So first of all, before we start any of this, we need to be really, really clear on who it is that we serve. Who are our audience? Where are they? And when are they there? So are you working with mums that are on social media after school drop off? Are you working with trades who are on social media during smoko and they listen to a podcast during the day? Are you working with corporate, high-level corporate women who are listening to a podcast on their commute? Who is it that you want to work with? Who is your dream client? And we're not going to do any settling here. It is not everyone. Pick the person that you can help the most, that you would love, love, love to work with. That is your dream client. We are not wasting time. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. Let's dive in, get really focused on that person that you want to serve. Then from there, what is it that you want to be known for? What is the problem that you solve? And we do need to just pick one thing that you are going to be known for. And we need to get really, really clear on that messaging. So once you know what you want to be known for and you know who it is that you are speaking to, you can be really clear in your messaging, because none of this is going to work if you are not really, really clear on your messaging. From there, we need to pick 2 ways that we're going to focus on that is going to get us out in the marketplace, that is going to make us discoverable, that is going to increase our visibility in the marketplace. And this is that top of funnel. That is this is the awareness phase of the buyer journey. This is the general public. How do we get in front of more of the general public, or how do we get in front of more of these groups of people that we want to get in front of? Now, this can be online, it can be offline. For most of us, it is going to be some form of social media and increasingly podcast collaboration, that kind of thing. So pick 2 platforms, 2 mechanisms that you are going to focus your time and energy on in getting visible. And this is not just staying safe inside your bubble of followers on Instagram. This is going outside of that. How are you getting new eyes? How are you putting more fishing lines in the water? And that sound there is my baby who's sitting next to me sucking on his hand. So just to clear that up, if you can hear that, that's little Cobes. All right, so we're going to be picking 2 ways, and it might be ads, it might be Google ads, it might be SEO, it might be social media. So think of all the platforms. It could be LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. If it's social media, lump it in that category. And it might be collaborations, which could be you going on someone's podcast and going on an Instagram live collaboration, getting PR, getting media. What are the 2 things that you are going to focus on? And as you build, you can have you can do more than 2, and you can have people on your team that actually work on this for you. But if you're just getting started, which I know so many of you are, focus on 2, do those really, really well, and have the machine working. You need to be increasing that number of people that you're in front of every single week, because you need to fill up the funnel in order for everything else to work. Otherwise, when you're doing your content, you're producing your own podcast, you're doing your video show, you're doing your posts, and your Instagram following, if it's staying at 400 people, then no more than that are going to be seeing it. And it is not a waste of time, because you are helping those people, but you are not leveraging your time by putting content out to the same people all the time. You really need to be growing that number in order to be growing your sales and to be growing the impact that you can have through your business. So make sure that we know who we're working with, we know who we want to work with, we know what we want to be known for, and we've picked 2 platforms or 2 mechanisms that we are going to be getting in front of more people. That's the top of funnel. That is the awareness phase of the buyer journey. How are we doing that? We need to get more people into our ecosystem, into our sphere of influence, so that we can nurture them, teach them, educate them, inspire them, and ultimately sell to them, because that's why we have a business, right? So we need to be doing that, and that moves people who are interested, who come across that visibility content, are going to hang around more. They're going to follow you on social media. They might join your email list. They are going to come that one step closer, whatever that means for you in terms of the platforms that you're on and what you are doing. And that is where you can start to talk about you. So at the start, you've talked about the problem, you've talked about your ideal customer, you've given them something of really high value. At the start, we don't want to be talking all about ourselves, because that is not going to attract people to you. People are going to be attracted to you because you've nailed your message so much that they go, that is what I need to be around this person more. And they come closer and they listen to your podcast or follow you on social or join your Facebook group or whatever that is for you. Now, from there, our content can then start to talk a bit more about what it is that we do and how we are different and the way that we do things and our beliefs and the things that people need to know and think and believe about us in order to say yes to our product or service. So this is what makes you special. Why buy from you? Why are you unique? Why is the way you do things unique? Your content then needs to be around that. And this can be on your social media, this can be on your website, this can be through an email sequence when they download a free PDF. And it's in this phase that you do want to try and get their email address. You do want to move them that step closer in. So either joining your Facebook group, but Facebook is borrowed land. We want to be getting their contact details ideally. whether you're getting their text message, whether you're getting their text details so they can join a text community, whether you are getting their email address, whatever that looks like. In this middle of funnel phase, when we're talking a bit more about ourselves and how we do things and our philosophy and the way of doing things, that's when we want to get some more contact details from those people, and we can then nurture them. We can really speak really specifically to what it is that they want and the help that they need. So this is that middle of funnel. This is the consideration phase of the buyer journey. So they're more than aware of you now. They're considering what you have to offer. They potentially might be in the market. They're testing things out. They're trying before they buy. And that's what your content is. It's helping your audience try before they buy. From there, once we have them on our email list, we're going to continue to nurture them with content, which is going to be all of those things that we've talked about. Listen to last week's episode, which is the ultimate guide to content planning. We have a whole workbook on this when we talked about your content pillars. And this is the phase for that. This is where you pull out all the stops, you give your very best in free content, you let people know who you are, how you can help them, what you do. You build your authority through content. And that is, you need to pick 2 ways that you're going to do that. Again, 2 ways. So whether that is a blog and a podcast, or a live video show and a podcast, whatever makes sense for you, pick 2 ways that you are going to nurture your audience. And yes, again, it can be more. For simplicity's sake, when you're getting started, pick 2, do them really well, nail them so that you can have some data. And from there, you can grow if you want to. Now, what do we move to people to from there? We want to sell to them. We want to serve them by offering what it is that we have to offer, because we are running a business. We can't just give free content out and not make any sales, because then we won't have the capacity to make any free content anymore, because we'll go out of business. This is not a hobby. This is a business. We need to sell. That's just part and parcel of it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's part of it. Embrace it, love it, because you are then serving them. Pick 2 ways you are going to sell, whether that's one-on-one consultations, via webinar, via a workshop, a free workshop, via a 5-day challenge, whether it's in person, whether it's via your website. What are the 2 ways that you are going to sell to your audience? Maybe you are doing launches, maybe you are having sales periods. Like, whatever that looks like for you is fine, but pick 2 ways that make sense for you, make sense for your audience in the way that they want to buy. Pick 2 ways and schedule it on the calendar for when you are going to be doing this, because you are going to need to do every step in this buyer journey. You're going to need to get more visible. You're going to need to nurture your audience, and you are going to need to sell to them in order to make a profit. And all of those things have numbers around them. You are going to need to get in front of a certain amount of people in order to get enough people to say yes to your freebie, to dive into following you on social media. And you need to get your content in front of a certain amount of people in order to be able to sell and get the conversion rate that makes sense for you and your financial goals. So, for example, if you get in front of 1,000 people and then 100 people end up following you on social media, then maybe you'll get 3 clients. So they're the kind of numbers that we need to look at. And you will only know this once you do it and you be really consistent in your 2 ways of getting in front of people, your 2 ways of moving people down the buyer journey, nurturing them, and your 2 ways of selling. And from there, like I spoke about right at the start, we can see where the bottleneck is. We can then see, oh, hang on, I got in front of 10,000 people and only 2 people followed me on social media. Clearly, they were the wrong audience, or my message is not nailing it. Something there is not computing. But if you get in front of 10,000 people and 9,000 follow you, well, amazing. You clearly have the right message and you're in front of the right people. But if you're only making 1 sale, well, maybe the offer or the way that you're presenting the offer isn't then landing for them. So what is it about that? And we can dive deeper then into your landing page views and how long people spend on your website and all of the nitty-gritty details. But we can't do any of that unless we are consistently getting in front of more people, nurturing our audience, and then selling to them, because we don't have the data to be able to reiterate it and improve. So that is the buyer journey. We're moving from awareness to consideration to action. The delight phase is where you blow their socks off with your service or your product. And then you want to also build into your buyer journey some sort of referral mechanism that is controlled by you. We're not just relying on word of mouth here. You want to actually structure this in a way that is strategic, where you are offering incentives at a certain level, at a certain time, and where it is mapped out in a way that you control it, and you haven't handed over your business and the growth of your business to other people. You want to keep that control. So that referral mechanism needs some strategy and some intention around it as well. So that is an introduction to the buyer journey. We are going to dive into this in the Social Marketing Method Facebook group next week. So there will be a live video in there. So if you aren't listening to this on time, like as this episode is released, that is totally fine. Have a look in the guides or the unit section, whatever Facebook are going to decide to call it. At the moment, it's guides. Have a look in there for this. Otherwise, hop on over to the website, because we will have a on-demand masterclass of diving really deep into this. So ask for it. If you would like to know more about how this might work for you, then you can always also book a consultation with me. It's annalisewarren.com/consult. If you want to know how to apply this to your business, have a go at it based on what we've spoken about, jump on a call with me. I'm more than happy to go through it with you and give you some tips based on your industry and your audience and your goals as to where maybe the holes might be and how to flesh it out and how to make it really strong and powerful and help you get towards your goals. So that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Impact Business Show. 2 things you should know before you go. First, come and join the party. I'm live with free marketing training in the Social Marketing Method Facebook group every single week. That's where you can ask questions and get the answers you need to simplify your strategy and amplify your income. Go to annalisewarren.com/group to join and come and network with an incredible community of like-minded business owners. Now, second, if you have got any value from this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe, and share it out on your socials. Your support helps us reach more purpose-driven entrepreneurs and increase our impact in the world. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye.